Hi everyone, Namaste. Welcome to the Navratri series, and today is the day 5 and it's also the last day of our series. From the beginning, what I did was firstly we shared one diet chart, fasting plan, right from the first meal of the day till the end, which you can follow and which you can just start referring to right away. And then of course I started talking about each meal one by one. So from the beginning, what I have covered is what are you going to have first thing in the morning, then the breakfast, and then the lunch, and then the evening snack. And now today I'm going to talk about dinner, and I'm also going to talk about late night options. So if you are one of those people who is planning to stay awake and go out in the night, then what are the late night options, what are the do's and don'ts that you are going to do. Okay, now coming to dinners, those who are following me for a long time and people who have read my book, they know that dinners, what I say, has to be light. Now what do I mean when I say light? It just means that your lunch is the most substantial meal, so it has to be smaller in comparison to your lunch. So the number of items are also lesser. When I say that in lunch you can have 5 to 6 items, in dinners you can restrict it to just 1 or 2 items. So the dinners have to be small. Even the breakfast is smaller and lighter. So most of the times we can replace breakfast and dinner. So the जो चीज़ें आप breakfast में खा रहे हैं आप dinner में भी खा सकते हैं, या फिर बहुत लोग जो चीज़ डिनर में खाते हैं किन्हीं लोगों को वो ब्रेकफास्ट में भी अच्छा लगता है. सो इट्स ऑलमोस्ट लाइक यू कैन इंटरचेंज देम, द ब्रेकफास्ट एंड द डिनर ऑप्शंस. So what are these various options that we can have for dinner? So in dinners, khichdi is something that I totally love. People who have read Yuktahaar, they know about it. So if you're fasting right now, अगर आप नवरात्रि का फास्ट कर रहे हैं, तो फिर you can go for the pseudo cereals, जो कि barnyard millet है, जिसको हिंदी में व्रत के चावल भी बोलते हैं, समा चावल भी बोलते हैं. उसका खिचड़ी बनाया जा सकता है. इवन बकवीट का खिचड़ी बनाया जा सकता है. So that's called a कुत्तू का खिचड़ी. इस खिचड़ी के साथ में यू कैन हैव कढ़ी. नाउ द कढ़ी, इफ यूर फास्टिंग, कैन नॉट बी मेड विद बेसन, बट व्हाट यू कैन डू इज यू कैन मेक राजगीरा कढ़ी. सो देर इज राजगीरा विच इज इन इंग्लिश कॉल्ड अमरंत. उसका कढ़ी बनता है. इफ यू जस्ट गो ऑन यूट्यूब यू विल हैव वेरियस ऑफ दीज रेसिपी वीडियोज आउट देयर. इट्स अ वेरी कॉमन फास्टिंग आइटम. तो आपको बहुत रेसिपीज़ मिलेंगे. सो यू कैन मेक राजगीरा कढ़ी एंड यू कैन हैव इट अलॉन्ग विद दीज खिचड़ीज. ऑफ कोर्स यू कैन हैव your sabzis like the lauki and all of these carrots and pumpkin and these sabzis, and उसके साथ आप रोटी ले सकते हैं. जो आटा अलाउड होता है फास्ट में फॉर द रोटीज आर सिंगाड़े का आटा, कुत्तू का आटा, सो इवन राजगीरा आटा. सो ऑल ऑफ दीज रोटीज आर ऑल्सो फाइन, right? So that is how a dinner should ideally look. Now having said that, there are people who are going to probably have a late night and they are not going to go off to sleep. And अगर आप रात में जगने वाले हैं, if you are planning to stay up late at night, in that case your dinner can be slightly heavier. When I say that dinners have to be light, it is keeping in mind that that person is also going to sleep say by 10:30. So you have a early dinner, say 7:30, a light early dinner, and then you sleep by 10:30, right? But if you're planning to stay up late at night, festival season chal raha hai, and if you're planning to sleep say by 1, 12:30 or even later, then of course if you're going to have something as light as khichdi, then that's going to make you feel very hungry, very very early, like maybe somewhere by 10:30, 11 itself you'll start feeling hungry. Because जब हम रात में कोई हमारा प्लान होता है कहीं बाहर जाने का, then you're also active. Versus when you're planning to retire to bed. So at that time your activity reduces, you're probably switching off the lights of the house, you're winding up your day, and you will see that at the khichdi and these light dinners that I spoke about, these are quite good for you. But on the contrary, if you're planning to go out and probably at that time you're getting ready or you're chatting with your friends or you're just hopping into the car or coming out or going somewhere, these are more active things to do. And with the khichdi and the other options that I spoke about, chances are that you'll start feeling hungry, quite early. एंड इन दैट केस देन व्हाट हैपेंस इज कि आपके सामने जो आपको मिलेगा, अगर आप गरबा कर रहे हैं तो वहाँ पे अगर पाव भाजी का स्टॉल है तो फिर आप वहाँ जाके खाने लगेंगे, या जिस भी चीज़ का स्टॉल है, चाहे वो छोला भटूरा हो या आपके फ्रेंड्स अगर कुछ खा रहे हैं तो आप वो खाने लगेंगे. सो इट कैन रियली लीड यू इनटू व्हाट आई कॉल एज अ फूड एक्सीडेंट, जिसका मतलब है आप खाना तो नहीं चाहते थे लेकिन भूख लगी और कुछ था नहीं तो आपने खा लिया. Right, so if you're planning to go out, then I'll suggest that you have a little heavier dinner. So what are the options for that? It could be pulao, it could be biryani. So these are little denser. Instead of just a fulka, you can go for paratha as well for dinner if you are planning to stay up for even longer hours, so that it just keeps you satiated, it just keeps you energized and satiated for the long night that you are planning to have. Of course, I would still not want you to have deep fried puris and desserts and halwas full of nuts and all of those things. Those are very, very dense. We don't want to do that even then. So not these options. These options are best kept for lunch, as I explained in my previous videos. But if you're planning to, say, as I said, go out in the night and stay up for longer hours, then it can be slightly heavier than the khichdi and fulka options which I spoke about. अभी हम खा के तो अच्छे से थोड़ा सा डेंसर, थोड़ा सा हेवियर, जैसा मुन्मुन ने कहा, हम वैसा खा के तो निकल गए, लेकिन अब जाने के बाद हम पहुंच गए, रात बहुत हो गई है, अब भूख लग रही है, तो अब क्या करें. सो अगेन a planning towards this will really help you. We want to avoid food accidents as much as possible. तो इसके लिए बेस्ट होता है कि आप कुछ अपना एक बैकअप प्लान अपने पास रखें. A lot of clients who work with me, I've been very fortunate that these are people who are very, very disciplined. These are people who are very conscious of what they are eating. So if you are one of those, then you can keep nuts with you in your bag. The sling bags are so common these days. You can just stuff some nuts. You can carry a fruit. So these are options that you can explore if you are out in the night. And if you've really eaten well from home, आप घर पे से एक relatively denser meal खाकर निकले हैं, तब आपको उतनी भी ज़्यादा भूख नहीं लगेगी. The fruit and the nuts are still good options that will keep the hunger away. A very, very important thing is water. Right now is the time when we are also going through weather transition, right? So almost all the places in India, it's the winters that is going to come, but the winters is still not there. So it's almost like a weather transition phase right now. So in this phase, it becomes very important that you take care of your immunity, and it becomes very important that in the night, especially if you're dancing all night long, ensure that you don't go for these carbonated drinks like the colas and stuff, the soft drinks or the cold drinks. Ensure that you drink and sip a lot of water. So water is something जो आपको हर जगह मिलेगा. If you carry it in a steel flask from home, nothing like it. But if you don't have that kind of motivation right now, that's really fine. You can buy it from wherever you are, but just go on sipping on water, because most of the time what also happens in the night is that you're thirsty, especially if you are doing things like dancing garba or being very active, just not sitting, just not being, like, say for example, you are a guest at somebody's house. Now that time, if you're just sitting doing nothing, compared to a person who is out in the night but dancing and doing garba and being very active, so these are very two different scenarios. So especially if you're sweating it out, it is very, very important कि आप पानी पीते रहें. Drink sips of water. A lot of the times people feel कि उनको भूख लगी है, जबकि basically वो सिर्फ dehydrated होते हैं. So basically they confuse thirst with hunger. So just going on sipping water throughout the time, throughout the night, ensures that they wake up also fresh in the morning. There's no headache and there is no dry tongue and stuff like that in the morning. It is also ensures that you're not constantly feeling hungry or you're feeling कि कुछ खाना चाहिए, क्या खाऊं, all those kind of things. If you're being very active in the night, like I said, dancing and other things that can keep you active, out and about, just from here to there, there are places where, pandal hopping is happening after a very long time, and you're just being, out and about, walking. So if you're being one of those active people, then I will say that raisins are very good. Instead of nuts, you can have raisins in your pocket or in your bag, and just 6 to 7 raisins if you have, and if you can sip some water, that itself is going to keep you very well hydrated, satiated, and will ensure that you're not hungry. Now the third scenario where somebody would say that but I am feeling very, very hungry, and I don't think that the nuts and the raisins or even the fruit is going to help me. I want something like a bigger meal. So again, as I keep repeating, it is important कि आप अपने hunger signals को सुने. Right? You have to eat when hungry. This is the most important thing of Yuktahaar TBBD कि आप जब भी आपको भूख लगी है आप खाएं. There is no there is no advice from my side that you need to suppress your hunger. The only thing is, I always say, is that you differentiate whether it's an appetite or a hunger. Something that I discussed in yesterday's video. So people who want to know what is that difference, they can go check that video. But as long as you understand that this is the true hunger that is built up, and you feel that the fruits and nuts is not enough, then please, there is no need to suppress your hunger. There is no need to feel guilty. What you can just do is eat according to how much hunger you have. Don't eat out of greed at that time, just eat out of need. So whatever is available around you, you can guilt-free pick up any option and you can have it. The only thing is, I would say, avoid ultra-processed foods. So instead of going for a packet of chips or any such ultra-processed things like mass-produced breads or any such thing, it will be always better to go for fresh meals. There are places, agar aap bahar ja rahe, तो obviously there will always be places which are serving fresh meals. So choose fresher meals instead of going for fast food chains, fast food restaurants and chains that serve ultra processed foods. अल्ट्रा प्रोसेस्ड फूड की आइडेंटिफिकेशन मैंने बहुत बार अपने वीडियो में बताई है, किताब में भी बताई है, कि हर वो चीज़ जिसके पीछे आप उसका बैक लेबल अगर पढ़े, पैकेजिंग का बैक लेबल अगर आप पढ़े, तो उसमें आप देख सकेंगे कि कुछ ऐसी एक इंग्रेडिएंट है जो आपकी किचन में यूज़ नहीं होती है, राइट? सो अगर उसमें ऐसा कुछ भी लिखा है, emulsifier for example, so emulsifier, do you use it in your kitchen? You don't. So that means it's an ultra processed food. So even if you are eating a burger somewhere, you need to ensure that the sauces and the ketchups and those things that they use, they would be mostly ultra processed. So that kind of choice, that kind of discretion, I would be very happy if you can make it. So if you have, say, somewhere a steamed rice and some dal which is being offered on their menu versus a burger with such ultra processed ingredients, I would say that you can go for the rice and dal and not the burger. So depending what is available around you, I would encourage that you make better choices and eat according to your hunger. अगर भूख लगी है तो बिंदास खाइए, चिंता मत करिए. पर अगर भूख नहीं लगी है तो just because people around you are eating, just because you can't say no. A lot of people tell me कि I can't say no. I mean, it feels very bad. How can I keep saying no? No, you can say no. Honestly, we can say no. If you read any of these, you go on internet and you hear any of these life coaches or people who try to motivate you to live a better life, at least out of those 100 things that teach, at least one is that learn to say no. So I will also say the same thing, learn to say no. Please do not eat for any reason except the reason that you are hungry. So with that, I will sign this off, and I will again wish you all a very, very happy Navratri. It's a special Navratri because things have opened up after so many years, 2 years, and that excitement is something that I hear from my clients and from everybody around, and that is why I thought I should do this series, because ऐसा क्या किया जाए जिससे हम अपने फेस्टिवल को एंजॉय भी कर सकें, बट एट द सेम टाइम वी आर एबल टू ओवरकम और वी आर एबल टू बीट द फेस्टिव ब्लूज कि कोई एसिडिटी नहीं हो, जिससे फिर क्रैंकीनेस हो. ऑल दोज थिंग्स डोंट हैपन टू अस, एंड दैट इज़ वाई दिस एफर्ट was taken from my side. I hope you find the series helpful, and I hope you are able to apply this to your daily life. Thank you so much.